Hi, I'm Max Preston from Boston TV News. The entire New England news community, and indeed the television news community as a whole, is reacting with shock and dismay to the sudden dismissal of Randy Price from WHDH Channel 7. Here, in his first and so far only broadcast interview, Randy tells us how he's feeling now, the outlook for the news industry as he sees it in the years to come, and what his plans may be next in this BTVN special presentation. First off, Randy, I'm sorry it had to be under these circumstances, but welcome back to BTVN.
Thank you. Great to be here, Max, and wonderful to be with you.
Well, thanks very much indeed. The question we have to get out of the way first is, are you retiring? And if not, how do you feel that that's what Ed Anson told the Herald and 7 News told its viewers on air?
Yeah, I was stunned. I was sitting there in disbelief, not believing that I was actually hearing that. Well, it's clearly not true. And here's the thing, Max. It's a business. I wouldn't have been in it for 30-something years if I didn't understand the ins and outs of it. So if an owner comes to me and says, Randy, you don't fit our business model anymore, that's his decision to make. And I think if you ask him what my reaction was, it would be that I said, that's your decision, and how do we resolve it? So we had a very civil discussion. We had a mutual agreement that, I would be leaving in terms of the dates and so forth, and that was it. The next thing I'm hearing the retirement thing, I'm like, what? I never said that. That's not what, it almost makes it sound like I walked in and said, I've got a great idea. I want to go off and retire. I'm not a retirement age, Max, but anyway.
Yeah, well, I have to ask then, it's been 3 days now. How are you feeling in general?
Something, I feel great. I've been, when you're in the business, for as long as I've been in the business, you have a lot of friends and colleagues, and they're all over the country, and as a matter of fact, all over the world. And so I've had a great time talking to friends and talking about, a little bit about what transpired, but mostly just having a good time. And the truth is, I've got to reach the point where, I just wasn't there anyway. I have always loved the work. I loved most of the 12 years that I had there. We had tremendous success. But there had reached a point where the business model, if you will, for what we do, I think was going soft. And if you look at what's happening in our world with the seriousness of our economy and political issues and so forth, I think people are not in the mood for sensationalized presentation, and I think a lot of frivolous filler material in the programs.
You actually defended that at one point. We did an interview back in 2003,
yep.
And somebody asked a question actually on the boards and quoted you as saying, we cover the news we think is of interest to local people, not just local news. If we reach the point of making more bad decisions than good decisions, viewers will be letting us know. Could you feel that happening?
Well, how long ago was that?
That was 5 and a bit years ago we had that conversation.
Right. And if you look at what has happened in terms of media, it is evolutionary, if not revolutionary.
Indeed.
People have so many sources of news and information, and they get it on demand. And in that day, when there wasn't as much saturation, to have these sort of like tidbits of news from elsewhere and novel things and an alligator in Florida on the loose and all that kind of stuff, well, it wasn't so noticeably bad. But, we've reached the point where our audiences are shrinking to the point where you need to really have a strong plan for what people are going to consume from you. And it's just my opinion. I think the only thing they're going to consume is local news. And if you have not, at least made that statement in your newsroom that we are only local news, and that's what we do, and that's what we do well, and we do it in a sensible and not over-the-top kind of presentation way, then I don't know how you're going to be in business. And, you know, if I could pinpoint a problem that developed for me there is probably saying that too much. I never really had a bad relationship with middle management, but we clearly disagreed on those things. And I think when they looked at the desperation of their situation with declining ratings, they clearly disagreed with me and saw that I'm probably an obstacle to their mission.
I've got another question from a user here calling himself Robert Randolph. In your opinion, what can be done at WHDH not only to turn the station around, but to inform and educate viewers?
Well, again, I think that, we'd like to take that sort of ultimate high and mighty road, but we're in the business of daily news coverage. So the best thing you can do is do a well-balanced presentation of the major stories of the day. But then beyond that, because, most of the stories truly are going to be of the more brutal experiences in life, if you will. And so where are the things on the other end to show the spectrum of life in New England? I'm not talking about soft, feel-good, good news story kind of features. I'm talking about things that are also part of life here. And when you look, for example, if you're looking at the newscast on our station, or their station, I should say at this point, this afternoon, you're going to see, and we have great reporters, you're going to see the hard-hitting, big local news stories of the day, and then you're going to see an alligator in Miami, and then you're going to see a building fire in Detroit, and then you're going to see a shark sighting in Australia. I don't know what those things have to do with people's lives. And I think that worse than that, I think that they represent laziness on our part to not do the job of covering news of local interest, and that would be local news.
Is day-to-day anchoring something you'd like to continue to do? If not, what other options might you like to explore?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I have a whole bunch of friends who have been suggesting some ideas to me, including friends at other stations, and I certainly appreciate their interest. But, when you do find yourself in one of these major crossroads and you have, I hope, a little wisdom, you have a totally different perspective. And what do I want in my future? I don't know. I'm kind of committed to staying out of work for a period of time as my contract expires. But beyond that, I don't know. I do know this. I reached the point where I was becoming so upset with the quality of the news that I'm focused mostly on the platform that it gave me to do things in the community. And I worked with, so whether it's autism or animal rights or animal rescue or whatever, I was so inspired by the people who are really working on serious and important issues in a lot of people's lives. There was a time when news was that, but I think that it spread out so much because of all the choice. And two, I think we've done a lot to diminish our desirability. There are so many times when I come in from like a vacation and I'll flip on the news and I'll start watching and I go, gosh, didn't miss anything. There's nothing there. They're all just these small stories of, this sort of random thing and that sort of random thing. Yeah, they're kind of quirky, but how do they apply to people's lives? So if it's just purely entertainment, it's not really entertaining enough.
Well, on that very forceful note, Randy, I'm afraid we have to leave it there. But let me just say on a personal note that you've been a good friend to the site and particularly to me for many years now. So I really hope this isn't the last time we get to do this. Thank you so much.
It's been wonderful, Max. Thank you. I've loved the relationship I've had with you guys, and keep up the great pursuit.
Thank you so much. I'm Max Preston. This has been a special presentation from Boston TV News. For more, visit us online at www.btvn.net.